My name is Fuyefoluwa Elegbede. Uh, I'm a columnist for AfricanLiberty.org. I write classical liberal themed articles which are published on a weekly basis on the AfricanLiberty.org website. The role of government in the society. Um, in accordance to the foundational constitution of the United States of America, the government is empowered with the responsibility of protecting and defending the rights of individuals to life, liberty, and property or pursuit of happiness. In other way, though, the government's responsibility is not just to defend the rights of these citizens against internal aggressions, including infringements by other citizens, but also against external aggression. Speaking of defending the sovereignty of the nation from an aggressive intrusion from external forces. However, the government is also in the position to defend the rights of citizens from its own aggression. What do I mean by its own aggression? The government itself postulates a great deal of aggression against the rights of citizens through the plundering of the law. And how does the government plunder the law? Example is what we see in most parts of Africa, where while the idea of free market capitalism is not famous, but we see a few capitalists outstanding or outshining the others. And how does this capitalist manage to do this? Most of them are involved in what we call crony capitalism, which involves um, partnering or colliding with governments, seeking government uh, favor at the expense of other free market capitalists. How do they go about this? You find that most of these crony capitalists, they are friends of government, they are families or political caucuses, and in parts of Africa where we have a lot of a good number of long-term dictators, it is difficult for someone out of the system to penetrate into the market system without soliciting for the one or two assistance from the government, and not at the expense of other free market capitalists. Um, in my part of Africa, uh, the government at this moment is insensitive to the plight of citizens. Speaking of being distant from the responsibility of protecting their lives and properties from internal intrusion. Why am I saying this? A whole lot of citizens continually loses their lives and properties to different forms of terrorism within the country. There are places in the country where kidnappings is rampant, and there are other places where outright killings, repression of minority rights, where a majority seems to be dominant. I'm speaking of northern Nigeria, where there are fewer Christians compared to the large amount of Muslims, and some extremists who call themselves Boko Haram. They have taken on the illicit responsibility of wiping out the Christian populace, the minority Christian populace, and also certain Muslims who do not agree with their views, with their extremist extremist views. Now, this has been going on for a long time, and the government seems to be incapable of drawing a line between its sovereignty. I mean, the government is empowered by the citizen to assume the responsibility of protecting them from this kind of aggressions. Now, when the government, instead of reacting to these aggressions, I mean, with a strong political will, instead, the government is busy fortifying their own state houses or personal residences, doubling their security detail and all that. This is no way to govern a society. If the government is incapable of taking control of the security situation of a country or of a society, then that government should step down. It's not a free service. The government was elected and appropriately remunerated to perform this function. And if the society continue to live in fear of what could happen the next second, then I think, in my personal view, the government should retrace its steps and give room for other persons with interest, I mean passionate interest of performing these functions better than them. Only that we rarely see this. Thank you very much for listening. I am Finfulua Elegbede again. I write for AfricanLiberty.org. Thank you.